North and South, Part 3 will not be seen at this time due to the following special 500 programs. North and South Part 3 will be seen later at 11:30 tonight on WRTV-6. This 1989 500 Festival Parade is brought to you in part by Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, this is the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade, presented by Hardee's. At Hardee's, we're out to win you over. And by Pontiac, 20th Anniversary Trans Am, official pace car of the 73rd Indianapolis 500. Pontiac, we build excitement. And now, let's join our host, Sarah Purcell, and the voice of the 500, Paul Page.
Hi, I'm Sarah Purcell, and I'm here to welcome you to Hardee's 500 Festival Parade, the 33rd parade, that is, and I'm here with ABC's Paul Page. We're going to be co-hosting the parade for you today. The theme of the parade is the American West, and that's in honor of the Idle George Museum opening in June. The Grand Marshal of this year's parade, who better than Gene Autry? And he's the star of 93 Western films. He's also, sung 200 albums, and I think got one of the first gold records ever made. We also have 30 floats. We've got marching bands. We've got cartoon character balloons. We've got celebrities that we'll be listening to with Greg Todd interviewing them down on the checkered carpet. And all 33 drivers will be here in the parade today. And so, Paul, we'll be having a good time, won't we?
Boy, Sarah, you bet we will. What's really important to us, though, is to welcome Sarah, because you're a native of Richmond, Indiana,
yes.
About 70 miles east of Indianapolis here. It's good to have you back home again in Indiana. It's always nice to welcome everyone to my hometown of Indianapolis. Now, of course, this is a very festive time here in the city. There have been parties going on all week, festive activity out throughout a beautiful sunny day today. We're going to have a great Hardee's 500 Festival Parade, and of course, through the night, they'll be partying again. Then they line up in the morning, and tomorrow it's the running of the 73rd Indianapolis 500-mile race. A very exciting time here in central Indiana. Now, we have a trackside reporter here, just like they do out at the 500. He's down on the edge of the carpet, laid across Pennsylvania Avenue. Here's Greg Todd.
Paul, in addition to an international television audience, we have hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets of downtown Indianapolis, eagerly awaiting the floats, the bands, the race car drivers, and the Hollywood celebrities. We're going to be talking with some of them: Misty Rowe, James Garner, Pat Buttram, Robert Hayes, and comedian Mark Russell. We'll talk to them as they come by here at street level. Now back to Paul Page and Sarah Purcell.
We've got a great show coming your way, so we'll be right back after this. The 33rd Annual 500 Festival Memorial Parade, it now begins with the spectacular traditional lead of the Indianapolis Motorcycle Drill Team. This is the first unit. Watch as they spell out Indianapolis 500 across the black and white checkered carpeting. The drill team is made up of full-time police officers from the traffic branch of the Indianapolis Police Department. These officers travel across the country performing at parades, children's hospitals, and other community events.
You know, Sarah, it's very fitting that this is what the lead of our parade is, because the law enforcement officers from around Indiana all focus on this city during this month and help with the crowds and with the traffic control. They put in hours of overtime. It's really great that they can take this extra time as volunteers to come join us at the parade.
And I've been so impressed with how many volunteers it takes to put on this festival parade, and almost everybody is a volunteer.
You know, that's one of the great spirits of Indianapolis, is the sense of volunteerism. They have so many amateur athletic events here and everything. Folks here just come out and love to help. Coming down the checkered carpet now, another traditional lead for the 500 Festival Parade. This is the Joint Service Color Guard from the Defense Information School, of which, by the way, I am a graduate, out at Fort Benjamin Harrison here in Indianapolis. The Color Guard is made up of representatives of all branches of the armed forces. They each carry the colors of their service, and they are brave enough to once a year and may invite me back to the school to speak to the new students, so they must not be afraid of anything I'll say.
Do you still remember how to march?
Not very well. Another traditional lead for the 500 Festival is the Color Guard, the single flag being carried. This flag traveled on the spaceship Atlantis last October. NASA astronaut Jerry Ross took this very special flag that salutes the U.S. space program with him on a secret military mission. This flag will be carried in every 500 Festival parade in the future.
Next, we have leading off the famous Golden Girl of Purdue University, and behind her, the lovely Silver Twins. They're leading the band here today, and it's one of the most famous bands in the world, the Purdue University All-American Marching Band from West Lafayette, Indiana. Standing out not only in size, they're considered one of the best in musicality, precision, and spirit. That's the best. Directed by Joseph Manfredo.
The Silver Twins, boy, look at them. A beautiful day in Indianapolis. The sun shines down, not a cloud in the sky.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, the temperature is great, comfortable, high 70s, a light breeze blowing through the downtown, everybody in shirt sleeves. Let's listen there.
And the Goodyear blimp, high above.
Sarah, this is the same band that performs on the main straightaway for back home again in Indiana and all the traditional ceremonies just before the start of the race. They've got a long weekend ahead of them.
Boy, they sure do. Look at those great smiles, too. They're having a wonderful time.
The Purdue University All-American Band. And now, let's present the 1989 500 Festival Memorial Parade Grand Marshal Gene Autry, the well-known film star, singer, songwriter, comes to Indianapolis with his wife Jackie from Los Angeles, began his entertainment career back in 1928. Over 635 records, starred 93 films. What a magnificent gentleman. We're so proud to have him here. Songs like, other than his country and western, like Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, one of my personal favorites.
Of course, he has an interest in his ownership of the Angels, too. They're in second place right now.
Okay, next we have 25 beautifully matched Palominos. They're approaching now, ridden by members of the Mura Shrine Horse Patrol in Indianapolis. The group's appeared in every 500 festival parade since its beginning, led by John Cohill. Each rider owns his own horse and tack and takes care of them personally. They're well known throughout the United States. They've appeared in the Rose, Orange, and Cotton Bowl parades and will be traveling to Toronto, Canada this year for an Imperial Shrine convention.
And here is Indiana's governor, Evan Bayh, and his wife, Susan. They're riding, by the way, in a 1928 Studebaker, which is courtesy of the Speedway Hall of Fame Museum out at the track. He's a native of Terre Haute, Indiana. Governor Bayh is the nation's youngest governor, and before his election, he practiced law with an Indianapolis firm and served as the Secretary of State here in Indiana for 3 years, but his functions this weekend are purely ceremonial and purely enjoyable.
His wife, Susan, is a corporate attorney with Eli Lilly. Isn't that interesting? I like that. This next unit takes us back to the days of the American Revolution as they parade before us in uniforms similar to those worn by the musicians of the Continental Army. Oh, don't they look wonderful. The Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps from Washington, D.C. is the only unit of its kind in the armed forces. The 70-member corps is a part of the 3rd United States Infantry stationed at Fort Myer, Virginia. They use 11-hole wood fifes, handmade rope tension drums, and solid brass bugles, all replicas of the instruments used during the late 1700s. The music played by the Corps reflects the heritage of the Revolutionary War era with colonial tunes like Yankee Doodle, drums and guns, and British Grenadiers. They perform at ceremonial functions and parades across the country and in Europe. Let's welcome them here today.
U.S. Infantry Old Guard, Fife and Drum Corps. Snappy little ceremonial step they were doing there, too.
Yeah. You almost feel like you've stepped back in time.
Boy, do they look great. You get an idea, too, of the tremendous crowd. They say over 300,000 people expected here.
Our first float today is very appropriately the Indianapolis Motor Speedway float carrying the lovely 500 Festival Queen and her court. Jane Ellen Bizal reigns over the 1989 500 Festival and looks beautiful in the southwestern courtyard setting. For the first time in over 30 years, the 500 Festival Queen is wearing a lovely black and white ball gown instead of the traditional wedding gown. The royal court, attired in stately gowns, are Regina Monica Garza, Jan Noel Gerline, Jennifer Ann Languel, and Angela Diane Sipe.
Beautiful ladies. By the way, they work very hard throughout this week. Now, greeting us from the seat of a 1929 Stutz, again courtesy of the Speedway Hall of Fame Museum, the Honorable William H. Hudnut III, the mayor of Indianapolis. And riding with the mayor is his fiancée, Beverly Gadara, and his brother Tom, two nephews, Spence and Peter Hudnut. Mayor, by the way, is serving his 4th term as mayor here in Indianapolis. Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Another royal float comes into view carrying the 500 Festival Princesses. The girls look stunning among the larger-than-life flowering cactus and yucca plants, looking at the hundreds of lavender silk flowers in elegant hanging baskets and how they adorn the colonnades, while white swallows fly forth from the Mission Bell Tower. J.C. Penney sponsors this princess float and has been the provider of clothes and accessories for the girls for the past 19 years. Very generous of them, and today the girls are modeling the many different J.C. Penney outfits they wear throughout the month of May.
And look at here, Sarah. Woo! The first of our big balloons, and giant he is. It's the largest balloon here today. Deputy Dan, keeping with our Western theme. The infamous cowboy. He stands 72 feet tall and is the first Western-themed balloon built by Kemp Balloons. Deputy Dan took nearly 10 weeks to construct and over 20 gallons of paint to cover the special rubberized nylon material that is used to make him as he works his way down Pennsylvania Avenue here in Indianapolis.
Isn't he magnificent?
A standing tradition for the 500 Festival Parade. Here is the 74th Army Band from Fort Benjamin Harrison, out on the northeast side of the city. Master Warrant Officer Richard Sadler directs this 35-member group that was activated in 1963 at Fort Harrison for the purpose of providing ceremonial and recreational music for the service members stationed up at the fort.
The winner of the Princess Trophy is the Hardee's Food Systems float, and this colorful, cheery float is certainly an eye-catcher. It begins with a mule tow unit that blinks her big eyes as she struts by. A large chuck wagon saluting the Western theme is loaded with supplies, utensils, and Western characters. The driver of the chuck wagon is Old Sourdough, and he's keeping a watch out for the crowd. There's a chicken perched atop the wagon that moves around and around, and a darling dog at the rear of the float who's very happy with his doggy bag full of goodies. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back with more of the 33rd Annual Hardee's 500 Festival Parade right after this.
Hi, I'm Bill Wintersinger.
And I'm Kevin Cogan.
Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade.
And on behalf of the Machinists Union, have a safe and happy holiday weekend.
And here is the winner of the Associates Trophy. The Kroger Food Stores salute the American West theme here today with a magnificent float featuring a first prize steer chasing a cowboy, instead, of course, of the other way around. The cowboy's legs are moving up and down. Somehow, he's trying to stay clear of the big guy. This is the Kroger Food Stores float, and it wins the Associates Trophy here today as we look down on the checkered carpet on that magnificent Kroger Company float from the Blimp America, high over the city of Indianapolis. Now approaching in a 1927 Lincoln from the Hall of Fame Museum, the 1989 500 Festival President, Mr. Sid Weedman. Riding along with Sid is his wife Sharon, his daughters Leslie, Lisa, Lauren, and grandson Ben. Boy, they got to be having a wonderful time here today.
Yes.
Sid's a native of Indianapolis, been involved with the 500 Festival since 1960.
From Chicago, Illinois, marching our way is the Marist High School Redskin Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Frank Manna, who founded the band. The Redskins practice in all the major Chicagoland parades and has had the honor of being the host band for the Chicago Marathon for the last 9 years. Is down on the checkered carpet, about to talk with Misty Rowe. Misty was a regular for 10 years on this.
And Goodbye Norma Jean, the Hitchhikers, the man with Bogart's face, and for 10 years a regular on Hee Haw. Ladies and gentlemen, Misty Rowe, welcome back to Indianapolis.
Hi there, thanks. It's great to be here. It sure has changed.
Now you brought a companion with you this year.
This time I brought a husband, and he's about 3 cars back. His name is James DePaiva. He's on One Life to Live.
Well, we're going to talk to him a little bit later. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Misty Rowe, ladies and gentlemen.
Right in front of the Indiana National Bank building is the parade chairman's trophy winner of the Indiana National Bank of Indianapolis, Float. It recalls the gold rush days of the American West with its float theme, Visions of Gold in the American West. The very creative tow unit includes a mine entrance, cactus, flowering plants, and an animated horse with a moving head and tail.
Winner of the parade chairman's trophy.
Yeah.
Beautiful float. Look at that. Boy, I'll tell you. Little leaflets of gold being sprayed into the air. That's wonderful. I wonder if that's real gold. Maybe Greg will get some of that and bring it up to us. I'm sure he'd share.
Of course he would.
Absolutely.
And I'm not holding my breath.
No, I wouldn't. Sarah, you brought some beautiful weather into Indiana with you, and it's supposed to hold this way right through the Memorial Day weekend.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers, I got to tell you. It's gorgeous.
Race drivers are certainly pleased that you did it. Marching next up in Western style is the Pike High School Band from the Indianapolis Northwest side, directed by John S. Marshall. Total unit, 227 members, and they won awards for their musicality and their color guard performances. They performed at Disney World. They've even been in the Bahamas. They're decked out in a military style red and white. The band's uniforms, as you can see, are absolutely stunning.
Oh, and there's the blimp giving us a wonderful shot of the parade on the checkered carpet.
Now tell me, Sarah, what city have you been in that carpets one of its major streets?
Let's talk about none. This is a new one for me.
Well, there's the Goodyear Blimp America. It's based out in Houston, Texas. The pilot is Aaron Jenkins. Looks so small up there, but it's 192 feet long. We'll be back with more from the 500 Festival Parade in Indianapolis after this.
I'm Derek Daly. This is my wife, Beth. Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade, and watch for me in number 10, the Rainer Garage Door Lola, tomorrow in the Indy 500.
Welcome back to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade, and you're looking at the Float Committee Trophy winner. This outstanding float coincides perfectly with our parade's theme of From the Frontier to the Future. Mayflower Group of Indianapolis can appreciate this concept, for they were pioneers of the moving industry 60 years ago. Their float displays 3 children from the past, present, and future riding a rainbow of fun inside Mayflower boxes. The tow unit is a box carrying the children's toys. Where's the dog? Oh, there's the dog.
Right there on the front. The Float Committee Trophy winner.
Oh, look at his ears go up and down. That's great.
Great day parade. Mayflower moving America's future. A standing tradition in the 500 Festival Memorial Parade, the United States Air Force Band of Flight marches into view now, brought together to provide support to morale, the welfare, the recreational aspects of military life. The Band of Flight performs for numerous civilian and military, regional, and national events.
We won't take points off for
The
that.
Air Force Band of Flight. I got to get all the mistakes done today. Because
Yes.
tomorrow they go so fast, you make a
Oy.
mistake, they do 2 more laps.
I can imagine.
All right, let's go down Pennsylvania Avenue. Here's Greg Todd.
Well, you've seen him on the Impulse Fragrance commercials, and he's the star of Daytime. In One Life to Live, he plays Max Holden. Ladies and gentlemen, James DePaiva. Welcome to Indianapolis.
Oh, thanks. Great day.
Now, we talked with your wife a couple of moments ago. She's been here before, but is this your first visit?
Yes, it is. My first trip to Indiana into the race. Looking forward to it.
Are you quite a race fan?
I love fast cars.
After tomorrow, you are going to love it. James DePaiva, ladies and gentlemen.
And we welcome him to our city, certainly.
Absolutely. The winner of the Mayor's Trophy is next. The very special float from Eli Lilly and Company of Indianapolis recognizes our Western theme through a salute to the opening of the Idle George Museum of American Indian and Western Art. The museum is going to open here in Indianapolis in June, and showcased on this float is American Indian pottery, drums, and dolls. The drum in the center represents the sun and moon and incorporates many of the designs found in ancient Indian architecture and other art.
And Sarah, of course, this float is the winner of the Mayor's Trophy. You saw the banner.
I think it's terrific that we're showcasing Western art now.
It has seemed to feel a renewed popularity in this
Yeah.
museum. I don't. You may not have time with the short time that you're going to be in our city, but it's really worthwhile to kind of sneak over there and
I
see.
may have to come back.
It's not open yet, but it's a beautiful building from the exterior, about 3 blocks from here in the downtown of Indianapolis, which, if you have not been here for a long time, which you have not, shame
No.
on you, it's really grown. It's such a magnificent downtown. Sometimes I wonder maybe we ought to take a couple of the pictures from the blimp from years past and show it today, because this downtown is just growing like wildfire. It's terrific.
I was here 10 years ago, and I must say the city is more beautiful than ever, and that's so nice to see.
Now a little bit of history comes our way. The Wheelmen of Danville, Indiana. It's an international organization of antique bicycle collectors. Now the members not only collect, but they restore, and to their great credit, they ride, which takes a little bit of courage on some of these machines. These bikes are dated all the way back to the 1880s. They have been meticulously restored to original condition. Captain Carol Stewart leads this group, who ride the bicycles regularly and will sometimes, now look at these things and imagine they will take trips of 100 miles a day on those.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, they've competed in many international meets, including one over in Switzerland. An award-winning unit. The Wheelmen of Danville.
And look at this little guy in a little three-wheeler there.
Little bitty one back there on the left side of the screen. You folks look great today. How are you? Look at him.
I'd hate to fall off one of those big ones, though.
Now join together for the sole purpose of marching in this 500 Festival Parade is the next group. The Indianapolis Public Schools All-City Marching Band. Rudolph Fennell and Don Owen direct the 7 high schools from the Indianapolis Public School System. The schools represented are Arlington, Arsenal Technical, Broad Ripple, Manual, George Washington, Northwest, and Thomas Carr Howe School. The members are wearing their individual band uniforms from their schools. But let's listen to them now as they sound together.
Sensational, don't they?
And somebody had a great idea to take all of those high schools and put them together for this parade. Isn't that marvelous?
It really is. winner of the Queen's Trophy is coming up now. The state of Michigan is coming to Indianapolis today through the Blossom Time Festival of Southwestern Michigan from Benton Harbor. The Blossom Time Festival is the oldest and largest festival Michigan has, and they salute the American West theme through their lovely float that features a brightly colored headdress that's symbolic of the great American Indian nations of the Old West. The 1989 Miss Blossom Time, Julianne Starbuck, rides beautifully among the Western decor. And there she is.
You know, Julianne was out at the Speedway on Thursday. We threw a big party for all the mechanics and crews of all the 500-mile race cars. It's really quite a shindig that they have right after the pit stop contest, which, by the way, was worth $50,000 to Little Al Unser's crew for the best pit stop. But they sure liked to see Julianne when she showed up.
I'll bet they did.
A child's toy comes to life here today on the streets of Indianapolis. Let's welcome this 67-foot balloon, Jack in the Box. Now he's constructed of 3 separate sections and moves up and down and sideways. It takes approximately 25 people, very skilled people I might add, to carry him along the parade route.
With the wind coming up as it does, you really have to be on top of it, so to speak.
Yeah, you watch them scuttle over to one side every now and then. By the way, the balloons here today, most of them take at least 20 tanks of helium to fill them.
Big tanks, I would imagine, too.
Jack in the Box. Doesn't he look great?
He really does. I've never seen Jack in the Box before. That's
Boy, the
great.
little kids up and down the parade route are loving this. Isn't this good?
It's fun just watching their faces. That's my favorite part.
Might be a little trite and say children of all ages, because you're smiling quite a bit here too, Sarah Purcell. Now approaching the Auschweben High School Band, 155 members strong. It makes it home up in suburban Green Bay, a mile from Packer Stadium. You see them at Packer games. They perform for the Packers, for the Milwaukee Bucks. Recently represented Wisconsin in the National Independence Day Parade in Washington, D.C. Featured with the band are the Jaguar flags and their pom-pom squad. Their green uniforms reflect the spirit of Green Bay very appropriately, and we welcome them to Indianapolis.
Ashwaubenon High School. Green, isn't that pretty?
Boy, it's rich, isn't it?
I always wanted to be a flag twirler. That looks like such fun.
My daughter Marlo wants to do that. You met Marlo before the start of the parade. She wants to twirl a flag or be a pom-pom girl or be a cheerleader. She's been practicing. She's in 5th grade now. And next year gets her first chance. Let's listen.
Power and Light Company won the Judges Trophy this year. It's a progression of colorful hats and headgear representing different periods of the American West. It's the unique idea behind this float by the employees of Indianapolis Power and Light Company. There's an Indian headdress, an early pioneer's blue bonnet, a Western cowboy hat, a straw hat, typical of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, and a space bubble hat of the future. Adding animation and color to this beautiful photo are several Indianapolis Power and Light Company employees dressed in period costumes.
Look at those headgear, isn't that? That's a great idea.
That's fun, isn't it?
Makes you wonder where people who think up floats get their ideas from.
We're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back with more of the 33rd Annual Parade.
Hi, I'm Pancho Carter. This is my wife Carla and my boys Dane and Cole. Welcome to the Hardee's Indy 500 Festival Parade. Watch for me tomorrow in the Hardee's Deluxe Racing Lola in the Indy 500.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. I'm Paul Page with Sarah Purcell, and moving toward us now, the star of Indiana Drum and Bugle Corps from Bloomington, Indiana. It's a 135-member marching corps directed by James Mason. Logs over 14,000 miles a year, performing in 16 different states and 2 provinces. A magnificent 500 festival parade here in Indianapolis today, anticipating tomorrow's running, the 73rd Indianapolis 500.
The winner of the President's Trophy is coming up. Acknowledging our nation's mobility, this striking entry is from the American Legion. Americans on the Move is the theme for this float that features a replica of a covered wagon pulled by 4 horses that's representative of the 1800s. Riding on the wagon is the Legion's national commander, Sparky, and several employees and their families. The center section reflects the impact of rail travel on our nation's growth, with a locomotive complete with steam, a whistle, and the clatter of wheels on the rails. Completing the float's mobility theme is a space module where Americans can find their wildest dreams of the 1980s going toward the future.
Look at the giant horses and all the people up on there. 4 horses to pull that big float. Boy,
yeah.
They must be powerful.
Greg Todd is down on the checkered carpet on Pennsylvania Avenue with James Garner. Greg?
Well, this gentleman is no stranger to this crowd. They love him. You know him from the Rockford Files, and how appropriate the man who starred in The Maverick is here as we salute the American West. Welcome back, Jim Garner.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here in Indianapolis. I've been coming here for 31 years, and it's always a great thrill. I enjoy the people. They treat me well, and I wish them all the best of luck.
You're quite a racing fan. Do you have a pick to win tomorrow's race?
Got 33 of them.
All right. James Garner and Paul Page, by the way, he was the very first host out here.
Well, I'll tell you what, he'd be welcome to come up and host with us today. We've got Sarah Purcell here, and we are having a great time. You know, he is an accomplished race driver. He's driven the pace car here, and he comes out, he spends the whole month here. And you never even notice him. In and out of the crowd, he has a great time. It's good to have Jim Garner here.
Hi, Jim.
Come on up and help us, Jim. Have a little work to do, he says. Now, next up are the Marching Mustangs, they call themselves, from Downers Grove South High School in Downers Grove, Illinois, my home state. Directing this 106-member band is Alan D. Rossley. The Mustangs have performed throughout the United States, including Hawaii, Mexico. Always, they receive excellent ratings. Many of the color guard, wind, and percussion members are also involved in concert bands or choral organizations. Their uniforms are brand new this year, and what a tasteful, patriotic color scheme they reflect. The Downers Grove South High School Band, the Mustangs. Let's listen to them. To come. There is the man that will drive the pace car, that beautiful Pontiac Trans Am that will lead the rows of 3 down to the green flag tomorrow. 3-time Indianapolis 500-mile winner Bobby Unser. I'll spend an entire broadcast day in the booth with Bobby tomorrow. Boy, is he great. He can tell you stories about this race, Sarah, that go on and on.
Well, it's no easy feat to have won 3 times.
Nope.
My gosh.
Done by very few of these drivers. Bobby Unser. How are you, buddy? Let's take a look now at some of the drivers in this starting field. In the center of the row there, you just got a good view of Al Unser, the senior Unser, 4-time winner of the Indianapolis 500. Over the right side of your screen, the pole sitter, Rick Mears, qualified at 223.885 miles an hour. His beautiful wife, Chris, on board. He broke his own track record, the defending champion. There's Al. And Marcia. Hi, gang. And the outside of the front row will be Emerson Fittipaldi of Brazil. He's got Teresa, the whole family on board. Emo, how are you? Two-time world driving champion. The second row for tomorrow's Indianapolis 500. Look at there, Jim Crawford. Jim Crawford was in an accident here about a week and a half ago. They sent his race car over to England to be repaired. They got it back. It's in perfect shape. The bodywork bill was about $100,000. The center of the row, there is Mario Andretti, the 69 winner of the 500, a world driving champion. And on the outside, there's Scott Brayton. One time Scotty held the track record here. He looks for a good start tomorrow. The first two rows for tomorrow's Indianapolis 500.
Boy, we should just mention briefly, if we can, what some of these qualifying speeds are. For those who might be unfamiliar, we're talking about 223 miles an hour.
Boy, you bet. Very, very fast.
They'll be moving a lot faster tomorrow, won't they? And now we have appearing in the parade for the first time, the Marching Patriots of Adlai Stevenson High School. Directing this 95-member group from Prairie View, Illinois is George Hattendorf. The Patriots have traveled extensively and received superior ratings at their various competitions. They've performed in Vienna, Copenhagen, and Hawaii and plan to travel to Toronto this year. Their patriotic uniforms represent our country beautifully, and we welcome them here to Indianapolis. The Director's Trophy winner. They're very proud of our pioneering spirit. The Merchants National Bank of Indianapolis brings this lovely float to us named Wheels of Progress, with a salute to transportation's role in the development of the West. The float begins with horses, moves on to wagons and railroad cars, and ends with an automobile and a spacecraft. The automobile changed the early settlers' way of life forever and provided the Wright brothers with an engine for their flying machine. Let's take a look at this creative piece from Merchants Bank. And we're going to take a break for just a minute. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Scott Brayton. This is my father, Lee. Welcome to Hardee's 500 Festival Parade. Watch for me tomorrow in the 500. I'll be driving the Amway Winning Spirit car.
A view of the downtown of Indianapolis from the Goodyear Blimp America as you float lazily over this city, sun-drenched at the moment. I'm Paul Page with Sarah Purcell. The pilot up there on the blimp is Aaron Jenkins, giving us some magnificent shots of the 500 Festival Parade. And we've got race drivers for you here today as well. As they come down the carpet, there is Bobby Rahal, former winner of the Indianapolis 500, two-time IndyCar champion, qualified at 219.530 miles an hour. And here's the rest of the Unser family. This is little Al Unser Jr. He won the last IndyCar race of this season a month ago at Long Beach, California. He's ready to go in this 500, 218.6 miles an hour. And from Brazil, Raul Boisel. We welcome him. His wife Vera, family's there. 218.228 miles an hour, qualifying the outside of the third row. As the drivers now come down in these beautiful Pontiac pace cars, aligned just the way they will be on race day. The inside of the fourth row, the grand champion, the winningest IndyCar driver in history, A.J. Foyt. 217.136 miles an hour. It's great to have A.J. in the parade. The center of the row, Randy Lewis from California. His wife Debbie there, 216.4 miles an hour. The center of the fourth row. And the outside, another family member. There's John Andretti, his wife Nancy. Good to have the Andretti family here. This is Mario Andretti's nephew, qualified at 215.6 miles an hour. Look back now, the fifth row. And on the inside of the fifth row, from Milan, Italy, Teo Fabi. He'll be driving that Porsche-powered entry. His wife, Gloria. Saw him out at Rudy and Rose's restaurant on the north side of the city here the other night. There's Gary Bettenhausen, another great racing family. Gary Bettenhausen qualified for the center of the fifth row at 215 miles an hour. And on the outside of the fifth row from Holland, Ari Leyendijk, qualifying at 214.8 miles an hour. Ari and Mika, welcome.
The Lawrence North regime marches into view now with beautiful uniforms of light cream pants and forest green cadet-style jackets. From Indianapolis, the Lawrence North High School Band, directed by Don Lane. They've won 4 state championships in the past several years and have performed at many prestigious events such as Epcot Center, the 1987 Pan Am Games, the Olympic basketball trials, the NFL Colts games, and the 1982 National Sports Festival. Their theatrical auxiliary costumes truly brighten this group up. Let's just listen here.
Of the finest drivers in the world taking the green flag. On the inside of the sixth row from Finland, Carol Palmroth, qualified in at 214.2 miles an hour. Center of the sixth row, a rookie here but a champion elsewhere, SCCA champion, IMSA champion, Scott Pruitt, driving the True Sports entry. And to the outside of the sixth row from Canada, Ludwig Heimrath. There's Ludwig Heimrath Jr., his father, a great racing driver as well. Looking back to the seventh row now of the 11 rows of 3. From Belgium, Didier Tays, former ARS champion, qualified at 213.1 miles an hour. One of our international competitors here. The center of the seventh row, from Mexico, Bernard Jourdain. Great open wheel driver, making his first appearance here. And to the outside of the row, Michael Andretti. Oh, listen to the crowd. Michael, they love you here.
With a little Andretti
son,
on
Marco.
his lap.
That's his boy, Marco. Sandy's on board, too. And there's Tom Sneva, the first man through 200 miles an hour here. Former winner of the 500, qualified at 218 miles an hour. Two-time winner, Gordon Johncock is here. Hi, Gordy. 215 miles an hour. And the Irishman, Derek Daly, his wife, Beth. Having a great day. The drivers for the 73rd running of the Indianapolis 500 on those beautiful Pontiac pace cars.
Here comes the Hooks float. This is the old-time Spirit of America, and it's depicted in this colorful float as Hooks Drugs salute the showmanship of the American West. The Dr. Hooks Medicine Show Wagon and 2 crafted totem poles and canvas teepees set the background for the famed strongman Ann Barker, who's promoting his latest cure-alls. Also featured in the float are members of the All-State Marching Band representing 40 different Indiana high schools. Pulling the float are 6 very handsome Belgian horses. And now comes the 1989 Hooks Indiana All-State Marching Band, sponsored by Hooks Drugs. Here today are representatives from the top 40 Indiana high school marching bands that competed in the State School Music Association's band contest last fall. And now for the 11th year, Hooks brings these talented musicians together to perform for the 500 Festival Parade under the skillful direction of Dr. Charles Henze and Honorary Director Thomas Dirks. Let's listen to them.
picks up the tempo and the excitement. And Sarah, you got to know, whenever I see the race drivers, I really get up. We've got the 9th, 10th, and 11th row coming our way now. There's the fastest rookie in the 500-mile race field, John Jones, former IMSA champion, 214 miles an hour. And here he is, Danny Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen. Now look at there. He's got a cast on his right arm. He's going to be driving in the 500-mile race with a broken right wrist.
How's he going to do that?
Well, he happens to be about the most physically fit guy you can imagine. No problem driving the 500. Alongside is Kevin Cogan and his wife. Kevin Cogan will start on the outside of the 9th row, qualified at 214 miles an hour. The 10th row, the inside, Rocky Moran and the clan. Back for a 500, he'll be driving another one of A.J. Foyt's cars. And Dominic Dobson, the center of the 10th row, at 213.5 miles an hour. And here is the grandson of a two-time 500 winner. This is Billy Vukovich III and family. Billy, good to see you here today. A lot of families in the Indianapolis 500. The 11th and final row now. Davy Jones, great sports car driver. Drives in the IMSA series and, of course, drives here at Indianapolis. The center of the row. There is Pancho Carter. He drives the Hardee's car here. On the outside of the row, a USAC midget and sprint champion, Rich Vogler. Good to have you here, Rich. There they are, the 33 drivers for tomorrow's 73rd running of the Indianapolis 500.
Boy, I'll bet they're excited too. I know I am. All right, from Indianapolis, the Ben Davis Marching Giants, and they're coming into view right now, directed by Jim Butts, Gary Wishmeyer, and Gary Fields. This 287-member band is a lot to be proud of. They're the 1988 defending state marching band champions and set the Indiana record for the most consecutive state championship titles in Class A competition. They've had the honor of performing for 6 of our United States presidents in the opening ceremonies of the Pan American Games, the King Kamehameha Parade in Hawaii, and the Kirkrod World Music Festival in Europe. Let's listen to this first-class group. Right now, but stay with us for more of the 33rd Annual Festival 500 Parade by Hardee's.
Hi, I'm John Andretti. Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade and watching tomorrow's race, car number 70, the Tune-Up Masters STP Grand Intelli Buick.
We're back in Indianapolis. You're looking down from the Goodyear Blimp America, based in Houston, Texas. And, you know, they call this the Circle City, and that was why. The circle right in the center of the city, and the blimp just peeking out around the Indiana National Bank Tower.
Boy, it looked like it was almost hitting the building, but it's not. It's way a ways. Next, we have the winner of the Grand Marshals Trophy. Color and beauty dominate this float, which is brought to us today from Bank One of Indianapolis. Bank One salutes the Idle George Museum with many exquisite items and designs of American Indian Western art atop their float. Friends of the American Indian Council represented on the float are from the Cherokee, Hopi, Cheyenne, and Chippewa tribes. Let's listen to the beautiful Indian music and drums as they make their way down the parade route.
Southwest Ohio comes the Sycamore Aviator Marching Band of Sycamore High School, directed by Jeff Bagler. This 162-member group is an established musical tradition in the Cincinnati area. The band boasts an excellent excellent percussion section, a large wind section, produces a full outdoor sound. The auxiliary groups enhance the band's musical and visual performances greatly. The Aviators have won superior ratings in all of their competitions, performed at 2 Mardi Gras parades. Let's give them a warm welcome here to our 500 Festival Parade in Indianapolis. Mrs. Mary George, the chairman of the board of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, daughter of Mrs. Mary Holman and the late Tony Holman. And look on board there. Riding with Mary is her close friend. 1928 Packard is the car, and that's Phil Harris on board. How are you, Phil? He says, I'm beautiful. Out in the sunshine, Mary George and Phil Harris. Phil's a regular attendee at the 500-mile race. He loves to come back to Indiana and visit.
Well, I can't blame him. This is pretty exciting. From Richmond, Indiana, my hometown, this beautiful float belongs to the Richmond Area Rose Festival. Their theme this year is Roses, History, and all that jazz. Richmond, Indiana was the home of many great jazz stars for recording their outstanding music during the 1920s to 40s era. And riding on the float are the Rose Festival Queen, Nikki D. Brooks, and her 4 lovely princesses. They invite you to attend the 8-day extravaganza that takes place from June 17th through June 25th. And the roses are beautiful. Right behind this beautiful float, and appearing for the 5th time in our 500 Festival Parade, the Richmond High School Red Devil Marching Band can be seen now. 172 members strong, this band has a special precision dance and drill team called the Devilettes that marches with them. They were 1988 State Fair champions and have performed for the Cincinnati Reds and Bengals games, the Tournament of Roses Parade, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the 1988 Peach Bowl Parade. Let's listen to them as they march handsomely by us now. Duesenberg, and on board Tony George and his wife Laura. Tony is the Vice President, Secretary, and Executive Officer of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony and Laura. Boy, I'll tell you, he has a busy time here at the Speedway, though. And now, rolling toward us, Nancy Gunter and Kathy George as they ride by in a 1930 Mercedes. Nancy and Kathy are daughters of Mary George. Nancy is a member of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Board of Directors. And we'll be back with more of the 500 Festival Parade right after this. Sweet pea.
Hi, I'm Dominic Dobson. Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade. And watch for me tomorrow driving the Texaco Haviland Star.
We're back with the winners of the Sponsors Trophy. Here comes some telephone-toting cowboys and Indians from Indiana Bell Telephone Company's entry. Conestoga passengers are using what may have been the earliest mobile phones, and with computer-generated smoke signals, the Indians can keep in touch with the rest of the tribe. How much easier the arduous treks west would have been for the pioneers if they'd been equipped with modern telecommunications.
What a great-looking float.
Yes,
Can't imagine having a pay phone along the cactus route there, huh?
Don't you think it would have helped? Say, I could use a little water. Could somebody just...
Call ahead, get an Indian check. Well, marching for the first time in the 500 Festival Parade are the talented band members of Southmont Junior Senior High School from Crawfordsville, Indiana. James C. Patton directs the group here today, and that features a 16-member color guard, 1 drum major, and 80 band players. Also known as the Royal Mountie Band, this group have placed in the top 16 for the Indiana State Fair competitions in the last 10 years and received their best honor ever of 3rd place in 1988. They're dressed up in red military-style jackets with white pants and plumed hats, and they sound as distinguished as they look, and they look great.
Chugging along the black and white straightaway now is the Union Station Special. Since 1853, historical Union Station has been a major focal point in downtown Indianapolis. Now Union Station is a restored festival marketplace for shopping, dining, and fun. I know because I was there yesterday and had a wonderful time. Riding on the train are some old Western cowboys that seem to be up to no good.
That is a great place to visit, isn't it?
It sure
Festival
is.
marketplace.
I was
all
so
the little
surprised.
shops.
Everything that was in there. So many things to do for the kids. And
It's nice that they restored it. It was the first union or consolidated railway station in the United States. And I can remember back in the, when I was a little bitty boy coming into Indianapolis through the station and the steam and all the romance of an old train station. It was great.
My gosh.
So it was so nice to see them restore the thing. Now under the direction of Ann Gore and Gordon Warren are the Marching Raiders from Bloomington High School of Bloomington, Illinois. This outstanding band had the honor of performing for President George Bush last September and have received top honors in their most recent competitions. Purple, gold, and white are their uniform colors, and they look magnificent here in the Hoosier sunlight today. Speaking of the president, you know, the vice president, Dan Quayle, is from Indiana, is going to be attending the parade for the first time as the vice president.
Yes, I understand it was quite an event for him, too. He says he hasn't missed one and didn't want to miss one now just because he's vice president.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder for him now. He's got all those Secret Service guards. He used to be able to just fold in with the crowd.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But he'd get a better seat, maybe.
I think he will. Represented here with a beautiful float titled Apple Adventure. Memories of the past and the building for our future are seen through the spaceship and globe designs. Representing the Michigan apple industry is their 1989 queen, Diane Umler. Michigan now ranks 2nd in the nation for apple production. Now listen to the rocket sounds and music as they parade by. On a space shuttle. I don't know about you, but I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, wouldn't that be a kick?
Greg is down on the checkered carpet on Pennsylvania Avenue, and he's about to talk with Pat Buttram. Greg?
Well, Sarah, Paul, you remember him as Mr. Haney on the Green Acres, but for years he was a sidekick with our parade marshal, Gene Autry. Welcome to Indianapolis, Pat Buttram.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a great state, this Indiana, I'll tell you. I love it. The good clean air here, you know. Out in Hollywood, if I see a car with an Indiana license plate, I go over and suck all the air out of the tires.
Welcome to Indianapolis, Pat Buttram.
He has been a card since he got to town.
He sure has.
Maybe he's looking for a career in stand-up comedy now. Now, right behind Pat Buttram, marching down the black and white checkered carpeting, the winners of the Class A Division competition of the Indiana State School Music Association in 1988. We welcome the Warsaw Tigers Pride, a marching band from Warsaw, Indiana. They're directed by Martin Becker and Dan Burton, a 130-member group. They perform for Walt Disney World's bicentennial celebration, the Fort Wayne Three Rivers Parade, and Chicago Bears football games. Dressed in turquoise, black, and silver, the Warsaw Tigers color guard leads the way. The orange and black dress band members. Let's listen to these award-winning sounds. 500 Festival Parade right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Ludwig Heimrath. Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade. Watch for me tomorrow in the Mackenzie Financial Lola in the Indianapolis 500.
Hi, I'm Paul Page with Sarah Purcell. Welcome back to Indianapolis, and you may notice we have some lovely flowers here. Now, they're not ordinary. They're very important because Bill Cronin, who is the florist, who puts together the wreath that will be placed about the shoulders of the winner of the 500-mile race, picked out Sarah's and my flower specially. It's from that wreath that will be put on the winner tomorrow.
I'm going to press this when I get home.
That's a very special item. Nice of him to do that.
Thank you for bringing that over. I appreciate that, Paul. Next, we have the sweepstakes winner. And for the second year, United Parcel Service enters our parade of floats. This year's theme is UPS and the American West. And the float depicts the evolution of transportation throughout the years of the American West. The stagecoach represents what transportation was like in the late 1800s. The delivery van is a replica of what was used in the early 1900s. And the airplane, a Boeing 757 PF Air freighter, represents the current state-of-the-art in transportation. Animated figures on the float are a horse rocking back and forth, the driver's hands raising and lowering, and on the sides of the delivery van, there are prairie dogs popping out of the ground.
And there is three-time winner of the 500, Johnny Rutherford, and his wife, Betty. Look at that. I tell you what, he's a cut-up. He was one of the most dramatic moments in qualifying. He was almost into the 500-mile race field, had laps fast enough, and the engine blew, time and run out. Johnny doesn't make it. It would have been his 25th year at the 500. But I'll tell you what, he's not done. Rutherford will be back.
I'm sure.
Here's a unique band, the Interparochial High Schools. It's the result of the combined bands from Chittard, Ritter, and Cecina Catholic High Schools in the city of Indianapolis, directed by Leslie Fleer, Mary Kubala, and Connie Pottinger. This is the 7th time that they have marched here in our parade. These schools join together every year in March for the Interparochial Music Festival as well. Outfitted in red, black, and white, they look great and sound even better.
Now this next float is making 500 history today as they are the first radio station to broadcast live from our parade. Welcome to WENS, Light Rock 97 of Indianapolis, who's teamed up with Energizer Batteries to present their Western float. Energizer Buckaroo batteries and Light Rock 97 air personalities are featured. A brilliant red stagecoach sits atop the float and doubles as a broadcast studio.
So they're actually broadcasting right from the float. Why couldn't we do that? Maybe next year we could talk them into letting us do the show from a float.
From a float.
Be a limited view, though, wouldn't it?
It would be a limited view, but maybe with the help of some monitors we could make it happen.
See, people brighter than us have figured this thing out. Let's go down street side once again. Greg Todd.
You have seen him in the movie Airplane. He was recently in Starman, and the women are yelling down here for Robert Hayes. Welcome to Indianapolis.
It's nice to be back here again.
Now, you're a bit of a racer yourself.
Well, just little stuff. We're racing 200 SX turbos and the Turbo 300 ZXs in the SECA and IMSA series. Man, I love it. It's just the most fun thing I've ever done.
Have you got a pick for tomorrow's race?
Well, Mears is from my folks' hometown of Bakersfield, so he's always been a favorite. And Bobby Rahal, Bobby and Debbie are friends, and Tom Sneva. So it's like, I'm just kind of hoping. Michael Andretti I raced with once, so.
You may hit one in there. Robert Hayes, back to you. Paul and Sarah up in the
he's being a little humble there because I raced against him out at the Long Beach Grand Prix one year, and he's real quick and real good.
Well, he's not the kind to toot his own horn, so that was nice of you to do that, Paul.
Welcome to Robert Hayes. Now coming into view are the Marching Patriots of Jay County High School from Portland, Indiana. Decked out in red, white, and blue, the Patriots are a 162-member band that has performed in such competitions as the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade and for the Cincinnati Reds baseball team. Under the direction of David Humbert, this outstanding group has 30 color guard members, true drum majors, and 130 band players. Listen to them.
I sure like their uniforms. Aren't they pretty?
They really are. And in the sunlight today, boy, do they look great.
Up next is a beautiful entry that pays honor to the first mode of communication in the Old West. Guess what that was? Smoke signals. American Telephone and Telegraph, or AT&T, salutes the American West with their theme, From Smoke Signals to Digital Signals. One revolving drum depicts antique telephones and old-fashioned switchboards that were part of the Old West, while the second drum illustrates the communications tools of the modern West: fiber optic cable, personal computers, and fax machines.
I'm going to tell you what, I bet the modern cowboy has a little cellular phone hanging off the saddle there, wouldn't you think?
Would make a lot of sense.
One of the great floats, American Telephone and Telegraph, here at the 500 Festival Parade. Well, befitting to our Western theme is singer-cowboy star Monty Hale. He graces the parade today. Monty's remembered as one of the Rough Riders of Western films, along with the likes of Roy Rogers, the Lone Ranger, and Hopalong Cassidy. Boy, that brings memories out of my kidhood. He appeared in such films as The Man from Rainbow Valley and The Missourian. And Monty did many guest starring roles in television as well. Look at the boots. Boy, he looks great. You may remember him on Gunsmoke or Honey West or Tales of Wells Fargo. Monty Hale, welcome to Indianapolis.
From Kokomo, Indiana, up next is the Kokomo High School Marching Wildcat Band, 180 members strong. This group has performed in the St. Louis Freedom Festival, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Gimbels Parade, and for Indianapolis Colts games. Under the direction of Gary Wallen, the Wildcats' uniforms are styled in the Blue Devil fashion of white pants and white jackets with blue trim. The guard uniforms are red, silver, and white, and let's take a listen.
My name is Billy Vukovich, and this is my car owner, Ron Himmelgarn. Welcome to the Hardee's 500 Festival Parade. Watch for me tomorrow in car 81, the Himmelgarn-Cassani entry.
The Hardee's 500 Festival Parade is brought to you by the official soft drink of summer, Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the feeling. And by Melvin Simon and Associates. We build places where people like to shop.
We're taking a look at the downtown of Indianapolis, Indiana.
What a gorgeous
Airship
day.
America, the Goodyear blimp. It's based out of Houston, Texas, giving you many of the beautiful shots you're seeing here this afternoon. The captain is Aaron Jenkins. 192 feet long, carries 6 passengers. Want to get a ride?
You know, I've actually been on a ride in the Goodyear blimp, and it is spectacular, and thank goodness for this wonderful day.
Scare you to death when they shut those engines off, though, and then you realize it does float.
Yes, for a while. Nostalgia is the hallmark of this float, sponsored by the Delwall Corporation from Novi, Michigan, home of the Motorsports Hall of Fame. Fame. The float displays the last remaining Novi race car from the 40s to the 60s. The Novi thrilled the crowds with its record-breaking speed and the distinctive thunder of its engine. The Motorsports Hall of Fame will induct 4 new honorees this June: A.J. Foyt, Richard Petty, Don Garlitz, and Barney Oldfield.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to going up to that induction. I've been invited, and that race car, Sarah, had the greatest roar you ever heard.
Really?
It had magnificent power, but nothing quite like the sound it made. Look at that machine. And when it went down the straightaway, you could just hear it for miles. Fans loved it.
I'll bet.
Well, now here's the Band of Pirates from Madison Heights High School of Anderson, Indiana. This talented group has been marching state band finalists 3 times, marched in both the Orange Bowl and the Peach Bowl parades. Last year, their jazz band won the Grand Champion Award in the Cedar Point Music in the Parks competition. Well, totally they're 136 members strong, and they're directed by David Robbins and the assistant director, Lori Hummer. Madison Heights High School Marching Band of Pirates.
Teachers Credit Union of Indianapolis. Johnny Appleseed is on the front with his friends, the Forest Animals. In his lifelong work of planting apple trees, Johnny traveled the West, forging new frontiers of apple trees, making a bountiful harvest for future generations. Look at him. He's great.
You know what's amazing is these people keep this up for the miles and miles of the parade route. I don't know how they have energy left when they get done with this thing.
And they do it just for the fun of it. Tomorrow, though, I think he's going to have a sore arm.
Now this next unit represents the District of Minnesota and the bicentennial celebration of the Office of United States Marshal. In 1789, George Washington appointed the first 13 U.S. Marshals. The state of Minnesota U.S. Marshal Robert L. Pavlik leads this unit, which is a replica of the prisoner wagon used to haul criminals and suspects in the mid-1800s. 2 horses pull the wagon and 4 riders move alongside. This group has participated in the Vice President's inaugural parade in Washington, D.C., as well as parades throughout the states of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and South Dakota. And we welcome them to Indianapolis here today.
Here come a couple of suspects right behind them, too, being herded along.
Marshals rounded them up. Over 300,000 people line this parade route now. And a little more than that, about 200,000 more will go out and see the race tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
And here's the Spirit of Twin Lakes Marching Band coming into view now from Twin Lakes High School in Monticello, Indiana, located in the northwestern part of the state. 115 strong. It's under the direction of the band director, Charles Kubley. The band has participated in a number of marching and concert band contests and has received first division ratings in every state-sanctioned contest they have entered. Think of that record. The Color Guard placed 9th in the 1988 State Winter Guard competition. They performed in Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade and the Chicago Christmas Parade. Here they are, the Twin Lakes High School Band.
And here's one of my personal favorites, Olive Oyl. She's floating down the street now. And of course, we all know her as Popeye the Sailor Man's longtime girlfriend, Olive Oyl. She's the tallest balloon here today, Paul. She stands 75 feet tall. Of course, she's not a short girl anyway, so she might as well be the tallest balloon. All of the balloons, by the way, are carried by Indiana Bell Telephone Pioneers. It's a volunteer organization, and we want to thank everybody who volunteered to make this parade possible. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back with more of the 500 Festival Parade.
they told him keep that in the bag. He got too good with it.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Yeah.
He looks great. Well, this next talented crew is the North Putnam High School Band from Roachdale, Indiana. John T. Wilson and Kathy Dory direct the 140-member band that is made up of students from grades 9 through 12. They performed in concert band contests for the last 18 years and were awarded the runner-up trophy for both the Midwestern Marching Band Festival and the Mid-States Marching Band Contest in 1988. The North Putnam Band's uniforms are of Blue Devil style, navy pants and orange jackets, and they have a great sound. Let's listen.
This is Charlie Morgan. Have a nice Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you for watching the 500 Festival Parade, brought to you in part by Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline.